Leomord just got the most explosive crit windows he's ever had. Nolan's mobility and cooldown buffs turned him into a non-stop skirmisher, and Granger's early game nerf might knock him out of top tier play. These changes from patch 2.1.34 are way bigger than they look. So if you want to see exactly how they'll affect your next match, let's break it all down. Leomord just got a huge passive overhaul, and it's a straight buff. He now builds Oathkeeper energy by hitting enemies, and that 100 energy, his next basic attack becomes a guaranteed 200% crit that also heals him. Mounted form doubles the energy gain, so these burst windows happen constantly. The only downside, skill 1 loses its shield, but overall Leomord becomes a bruiser with reliable, self-made damage spikes. Lolita just got buffed across the board. Her passive no longer gives periodic shields, but she still shields allies when casting skills, and those shields are now bigger with better HP scaling. Skill 1's cooldown now drops from 10 to 8 seconds, giving her more frequent engages, and her ultimate? It's way stronger, 60% slow and 600 to 1200 base damage, making her teamfight impact noticeably higher. Harley's ultimate just got a major cooldown buff. It now goes from 25 to 15 seconds, meaning he can look for burst picks way more often. The ring explosion is now a flat 30% at all levels, giving him more consistent damage throughout the game. Rafaela's healing just got way stronger. Skill 2 now scales with 90% magic power, but only heals herself and the most injured ally. Her ultimate cooldown is much shorter, 28 to 20 seconds, even with the stun reduced to 1 second. Clint just got a trade-off, but overall it's a buff to his uptime. His passive no longer converts attack speed into cooldown reduction, so that extra CDR scaling is gone, but his ultimate gets a strong boost. The skill recharge drops from 10 to 6 seconds to 10 to 5. And the cooldown itself falls to 1.5 to 0.5 seconds. This means Clint can fire his enhanced shots much more frequently, giving him smoother poke and higher sustained damage. Zetian just got a strong set of buffs that make her poke and uptime way better. Skill 1's first 2 waves now scale harder with 50% magic power, and the third wave keeps its massive 120% scaling, with slightly higher early damage. Her mana cost drops from 70 to 120 to 50 to 75, and the cooldown is now 5 seconds, letting her spam this skill constantly in lane. Cecilion's mana curve just got lighter. Skill 1 now stacks at 1.5 times instead of 1.8 times, and its cost scales from 75 to 150, making his early game smoother without boosting his late game too much. Tigreal just got a solid power boost. Skill 2's charge speed jumps from 6 to 8, giving him faster engages, and his ultimate now hits way harder, 600 to 1000 base damage. Johnson's ultimate just got a huge damage shift. It no longer scales with magic power. Now it uses 240 to 360% of his physical defense, letting full tank builds hit like a truck. Khufra just got a clean passive buff. Its cooldown drops from 12 seconds to 8, letting him disrupt and punish dives much more often. Julian gets a small but meaningful jungle buff. His passive now deals 85% damage to creeps instead of 75%, giving him faster clears and smoother early rotations. Nolan just got buffs that make him way more active and oppressive. His passive now gives 25 energy instead of 20, letting him extend trades and keep his combos going, and both skill 1 and 2 now scale down to a 1 second cooldown, giving him near constant mobility and allowing him to chain marks and chase way more effectively. Overall, he becomes faster, smoother, and far more dangerous in skirmishes. Suyou just got buffs across his whole kit. Skill 1 now has an 8-second cooldown with higher damage on both tap and hold. Skill 2 also drops to 8 seconds and its hold regen now scales with 80% extra physical attack, giving him much better sustain. Even his ultimate is now a flat 8 seconds. Revamped Eudora gets a mix of buffs and tweaks. Skill 1 is now a fixed 5-second cooldown with a much faster 40% movement speed boost, letting her reposition and trade more aggressively. It also now correctly shows its 200% damage to creeps, and the animation finally matches the actual damage output. Her ultimate, however, takes a hit. The range is reduced, the slow is removed, and the thunderburst radius drops from 5 to 4, making her burst a bit harder to land from distance. Overall, she becomes smoother to play in lane, but slightly weaker in long-range pick scenarios. Nana gets a simple damage reshuffle. Skill 1 is buffed, now hitting harder with 300 to 500 base damage, and 100% magic power scaling, giving her stronger poke and clearer burst windows. But Skill 2 takes a hit, dropping to 150 to 275 damage with only 30% magic power scaling, making it more of a utility tool than a damage source. Angela gets a small but important ultimate adjustment. Its cooldown goes from 40 to 50 seconds, and now it starts the moment you cast it, not after you detach. This means you'll need to be more deliberate with when you jump in, but you'll also get the cooldown rolling sooner during long fights. Enjoying the breakdown? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's continue. Granger just took a hit to his early game. Skill 1's base damage drops from 120 to 100, and it no longer deals extra damage to minions and creeps, slowing his clear and early pressure. Cici's early game threat just got pulled back. Her passive now gives 0.5% movement speed per stack instead of 0.75%, so she won't chase people down as easily. Skill 1 also loses some base damage, now 60 to 85, which lowers her trading and poke in lane. Overall, she's still mobile, but her early duels and stickiness are noticeably weaker. Harith's burst drops, but his sustain improves. Skill 2's enhanced basic attack now uses 100% physical attack and 50% mana, lowering his instant damage, but the shield gains 150% MP scaling, stacking up to 3 times for much better durability. Fredrinn's clear speed just got nerfed. His skill 1 now deals 150% damage to non-hero units instead of 200%, slowing his jungle and lane wave clear.
It should have been me, not him.
Lastly, Hayabusa just took a mobility hit. His skill 2 now has 20% less travel distance for both himself and his phantoms, making his gap closing, dodging, and combo routing noticeably tighter. The fighter emblem gets a small but important tweak. The old 12% spell vamp is now replaced with 10% hybrid lifesteal, meaning fighters who rely on both physical and skill damage get more flexible sustain, but with slightly lower overall healing. And that's the full overview of this patch. There's a lot shifting, and it's going to be interesting to see how the meta settles. I'm curious, what's your take on these updates? Drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next patch breakdown. See ya.